This is not a video on trees, I swear, but we are taking a look real quickly at the Rapido N-Scale Autoflood 3 coal hoppers. Now, if these look familiar to you, we just did a review not too long back on the Autoflood 3 coal hoppers in HO scale. Well, these are in N scale, but I don't really have too much ability to test the coupler height and things on these N scale freight cars or coal cars, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at them anyway. We'll do a 360, just run them down the track a little bit. So this will be what I call a product demo, and we'll be wrapping up. So let's take a look next. Clear plastic with a little tab there, and then a plastic molded part to keep the car from wiggling around too much, along with some soft plastic. You see this big wand in here. Some of you guys that are really familiar with Rapido products know that this is similar to the wand for passenger cars to turn the lights on in the Rapidos, all the way back to one of my first reviews. But this one lifts up the coal load so that you can easily take out the coal load or put it in when you're running coal operations. While we have it out, you can see the cross bracing and the detail inside the coal car. On the outside of the coal car, in this case we have the BNSF. The camera doesn't like it, but I do. Everything from reflective striping to, that's from the FRA mandated reflective striping, BNSF, and the road number. The rotary end is located here. You can see that with the colored end. Basically how these coal hoppers operate is they get put into a rotary and one coupler will turn around completely, and so these are all usually in the same direction when you see them in the same direction of travel, either on the back or the front, and then they're dropping off all the coal loads, running them through and rotating that coupler to dump. You see the rivet detail, the ribbing, and all of the Autoflood's bays there beneath. BNSF's nice and clear, and along with all the other lettering, especially for N scale, is clear, which is pretty neat. You can blow this up to 1080p. I think my camera is just really close to hitting infinity focus, but you can blow this up and read most of that. I can read it in my viewfinder here. You've got the access ladders also, brake wheel, metal wheels, coupler cut bars, plumbing inside, which is a little hard to see on that black on black, but you can see it there with the air reservoir and plumbing inside. It's like this little piece is out of place a little, like it lifted up a little bit or something, but those ends are, you know, present as well. And more of the same on this side. Need to get this out of the way so you can see. But you do see the coal load here, which is also pretty realistic on these as well. So it looks like what I have is the BNSF example, and I also have a CMO. I believe that's Chicago, Missouri, Omaha or something. It runs throughout the Midwest. I know I've seen them through Nebraska before, so I'll swap this out and show you that version as well real quick. Product reviews, do all the testing. This is a product demo, so we're just basically doing a show and tell operation here. But here's the CMO, same sort of workings with that rotary coupler, which is basically identified with this yellow end in this case, but the colored end is the rotary on all of the coal cars. That's what the coal load looks like in it. And I know you're probably wondering, wow, that looks really neat and straight, but you'd be surprised. I've watched some videos on coal loading operations, and they've got this big flaps on each side of the dump, the chute where they're putting coal in, and it does make them look pretty even across the board, so it's kind of neat. But the neat appearance of the coal load is not necessarily incorrect. So that's a little bit more of a view out, but I can view in. You can see the CMO reporting marks on the end there, more of the rivet detail even along each of the little ribs of the car where the car is kind of manufactured and put together. One thing we did not show that Rapido is famous for usually is the underside detail, but this is just going to show the bracing of each bay and how that basically slides to open up and dump out the coal when somebody puts a tool, I think, in the side of the car and releases the bays. So pretty cool. Metal wheels, like I said, on the bottom. You got your detailed trucks here. On HO, on some things, they've got end caps. I don't know if they've done that, bearing caps that rotate, but see, as I try to zoom in to see, because my eyes aren't going to do it, the camera is not having much more zoom on this, but hopefully on full screen you can see if those are rotating bearing caps or not, because I am getting old and cannot see that anymore. You guys have been with me for about, believe it or not, 14 years. So starting this as a 26-year-old man, I'm pulling 40 now. That is fairly a long journey to be with me. But that's basically the coal hoppers. We'll set them on some N-scale track down here. Like I said, I do have an expansion plan to put some N-scale off in the distance in one scene on my layout. So I'm acquiring some N-scale stuff, but right now it's just Easy Track City. So, or in this case, Cato Unitrack, I think this is called. But they roll very freely. Not any body wobble. They just kind of go and they settle right back down, so that's good. So they're going to look realistic going back and forth on your train. And that's kind of where we're going to call this as a product demo. But, you know, mostly let you guys know, be aware that these are out in the market now, just like the HO scale ones. And they're filling a really good gap in the market, because I think a good, highly detailed Autoflood 3 was needed, if there's any Autoflood 3s at all. I don't think there is. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.